Hello everyone, welcome back to Procrasti-Knitter, a knitting podcast about knitting. My sister is off screen and laughing at me, so... Okay, well, today... Oh, my name is Jane. I am your host. I am at taoyong_ on Instagram, and today's probably going to be a short one. We're just going to talk about things I've been working on so far. I don't have any finished objects, so I'm just going to talk about whips, basically. Today I am drinking a coffee. Oh, look at my nails. We did my nails yesterday. Yes. But I'm drinking coffee. Yum. It's caramel latte situation, something like that. Yes, okay, let's get started. Dylan's laughing at me. Actually, first I feel like people talk about what they're wearing. So underneath my dress I'm wearing this knit shirt, commercially knit shirt. I think Joy, my sister Joy, thrifted it and then she gave it to me because she didn't like how it fit on her. But yeah, I really like it. It's super soft. It doesn't say what material it is, but it's really nice next to skin. And I never thought I would knit myself anything that's kind of this see-through or with this large of a gauge. This doesn't look like that large of a gauge, but it is. It's very sheer. But yeah, I didn't think I would want to knit myself something like that. But after wearing this, I just might. But I don't know what I would knit necessarily. But yeah, this is definitely a next to skin knit versus, I feel like I've typically gone for like sweaters or things with a baggier fit. But alas, there's a hole here. So if I find yarn that's similar, I'm going to try to patch it up. But the yarn is really soft and it's keeping me really warm, which makes me think it's a natural fiber, like an animal fiber. But yeah, I guess I don't know. So moving on to whips, the first whip I have to show you. Well, see, like if you've been here, these are all pretty familiar. Oh, I wanted to show the socks first. So the pink socks, I finished one as I showed last time, and this is my progress on the second one. It's a 1x1 rib, then 3x1 leg and top of the foot. The back of the foot is just a stockinette. I did slip, stitch, heel flap, and gusset. And yeah, I mean, I love how it's looking. I'm just, like, still having trouble with this area is always like, how do I make it focus? I don't know. Yeah, this area is always like the hardest part for me. I guess you can't really tell even on camera. But this side in particular is always the worst. Let's see if I can knit on these, because I'm working on another project, the yellow top. Okay, yeah, so these are fine. So it must have to do with something else. But I tried to, because I did my nails yesterday, I tried to work on one of my projects. And I found that I absolutely cannot work on it with long nails, which is kind of devastating because that project I didn't want to work on anyways because it got to a really boring part. But I was like committed to working like an inch or so on it a day, which is not that much. An inch or so on that project would like be like probably like 15 minutes or less, because it's I'm doing like a strap. I'll show you. But anyways, I could not do it because, yeah, I guess I'll show you why, but I guess I'm glad to know that I can still work on the socks with these longer nails. So yes, this is the sock. This is Cascade yarns in the colorway Boysenberry. So yeah, it's really, really nice. Not much else to say about it. This is how much I have left. So I have quite a bit left, but I think, you know, it's because I've been doing a 30 round leg, which is pretty short. It's half of what I started out doing when I was knitting socks. So I think I'm gonna end up with lots of scraps. So yeah, I actually just reorganized my yarn stash. Everything's very organized. Maybe I'll input B-roll of what it looks like, but it looks really, really nice. And yeah, okay. But oh yeah, I said that to say that I have a lot of fingering weight yarn scraps that eventually will get worked up into something, but I don't know what yet. Oh, I'm sitting on a rocking chair that used to be in my sister's room, but she gave it to me. And then behind me is the swatch for the Miles cardigan. And then these are a pair of oven mitts pot holders that I got from a local to Philly quilter, I guess. Okay, next project I have to talk about is my Venice top. So this is how much yarn I have left from an 100-gram hank. And okay, last time I said it wasn't Knitpicks Stroll, it was actually Knitpicks Hawthorne, but then I double checked and it is Knitpicks Stroll. So this is Knitpicks Stroll. This is the Venice wrap. So this is the part where I said my nails cannot, they do not want me to work on this project because there's no like grip to it, I guess. Or maybe I was just like out of practice yesterday. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. No. Right now I'm doing double knitting on this strap, so it's a tube, except I think I messed up somewhere because it's not a tube all the way down. See, like I'm going way slower than I usually would go to knit this because my nails are in the way. Like this is like really a struggle, everybody. This is really a struggle because I have to slip stitches, as you may or may not know, and that is proving difficult to do with these pointy nails that are like their own needles. So yeah, I don't know, but this is the project that I was having trouble on. As you can see, it would not take me very long to knit an inch of this, but I need to knit 2 of these straps that are, the pattern calls for 36 inches, but I will probably just knit to whatever makes sense for my underbust area. But yeah, I definitely will have enough yarn to make this, or to finish this, which is good, because I wasn't sure I would, because this is just one skein of fingering weight yarn. But this is the Venice wrap from, actually I don't know who it's from, but as you can see, I've done the back and I've seamed at the sides. Actually, to seam up, I didn't follow the directions, and I used a crochet seaming technique, and I think it worked pretty well. So yeah, yeah, so here you go. That's what it looks like. Let me see if I can put it on so I can demonstrate. So I made, as I mentioned, I made size small, but I cast it on the amount for extra small, so like the fit is a bit weird and it's a little tight, and I made it shorter, I think, than they called for, or my gauge is off or something. I didn't gauge swatch, but so it's fitting more like a bralette than a crop tank, which it's supposed to be like a crop tank. Like my measurements are not like accurate to what this pattern is supposed to be, but that's okay. So let's see. Yeah, and then this would eventually go all the way around and get tied. And there would be a thing down here too. And they would come all the way around and then meet over here and tie like this. But I mean, I like the color. The fit is pretty good. Yeah, I don't really have complaints. It was a nice pattern to work because since you're working from the bottom up, it feels like a fast knit because you're starting off with so many stitches and you're decreasing up to here. So then like by the time you get here, you're just like, whoop. But the first section is definitely a little more tedious to get through. But yeah, I think the pattern is meant to be a little more probably down here, but the way I just made it shorter because I was scared about yarn. But I think I probably could have done with a couple more inches, but you know, I don't know. I like how it is looking, so I'm okay with that. But again, this is double knitting. I've never done, not the whole thing is not double knitting, but this tube section is double knitting, which I'd never done before. But I did I-cord, but I guess that's not the same. I guess or is it this? Well, it's definitely not the same technique, but is it a similar? Okay, you know what? I don't know anything. So yeah, I'm doing double knitting for this. And it seems I've gotten my yarn all tangled up. Okay, great. So that's the work in progress. I mean, maybe I'll try to squeeze in a few rows here and then, but it really is like difficult with the nails to work on this project. All right. Yeah, I think I could have made the straps a little longer too. It's feeling a little tight, but I don't know. I actually like how the finish, like there's not ribbing or anything, but I like how the edges are looking. So that's nice. So that is that. Back in the project bag it goes. Now, for my most exciting whip and something that has truly been flying, I casted on a new project. So, this is Cascade Yarns Eco Plus, I think Wisteria is the colorway. From one 200-gram hank, I was able to wind three cakes that are about this size. This is double wounded, so I always wind my yarn twice because I saw a video that Very Pink Knits did, and she recommended you wind it twice just for more even tension on the yarn. And the first time you wind it up, I guess from the Swift, it is a lot tighter, which is definitely true from like my observations. So when you wind it twice, it is just like more even and puts less stress on your yarn. So that's why I do it twice. And yeah, I mean, I would say like it gave this like an extra inch at least when I wound it twice, like in terms of how much it grew. But yes, this is the yarn. I don't know. This is not, I can't really figure out what's like an accurate way to describe this color. I mean, it's a purple. It's on the cooler side of purple, I would say. But yes, and then I'm holding it with this, which is Valley Yarns. Maybe it's like Southampton or something. It's their kid silk mohair. Or maybe they're, yeah, no, I think it's kid silk mohair. It's like 73-30. But yeah, so these two colors being held together. This is my favorite things knitwear. Cardigan number 7, I want to say. I'm not sure, but this is what I have so far. It's been so fun to knit. It's a raglan style cardigan, and I don't even mind knitting back and forth all that much. So let's see, it's all like scrunched up on the needles. I'm using the longest cable size I have, but obviously that's not long enough. But and I'm in the middle of a row, so I can't wrap it around me. But you know, I think you understand the gist. I love the fabric. It feels a little itchy when put next to skin, but not all the time, so I'm not sure when I wear it how it'll be. But yeah, this is a cardigan. I'm knitting size small. It goes from extra small to something else. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know if the range is the greatest, TBH, in terms of into the larger sizes, but yeah, I'm knitting the small. And if you remember my last podcast, or maybe two podcasts ago, when I unboxed me getting these 2 yarns, I was surprised that I only bought 3 of these. And now that I'm looking at the pattern, I thought I could make size extra small, but like just looking at the measurements, and I did a gauge swatch for this, actually. Jenna, can you give me the gauge swatch? I hit gauge exactly, which is literally never heard of on my first try. I hit gauge exactly. I think the pattern called for size 11 US, but size 11 US in my ChowGoo were a different millimeter measurement than what the pattern says the size 11 was. And what the pattern called for, I didn't have in my ChowGoo set, so I went down half a size. So I'm knitting these size 10 and a half. Oh, I have it here. I don't know why I thought I had to remember. So I'm knitting US size 10 and a half, 6.5 millimeter needles. And yeah, that worked out great. This was my swatch. Yeah, so I don't know, perfect, exactly on gauge. And you know, the fabric is not super dense, but it's definitely not super see-through. Like as a cardigan, I think this is a good fabric and has a nice drape. And I was gonna wet block it, but I didn't, and I'm just hoping it doesn't grow all that much, and I wouldn't mind if it did, because I think a baggier fit is okay as well. So, which is why I just went ahead and knit it, even though you're supposed to block the gauge. Whatever. Yes, so since this is knit flat, I meant to say this about all my pieces that I've been knitting flat, but my tension is not the same on my knit stitches as my purl stitches. So to accommodate for that, the knit needle has been the correct size, and I go down a size or half a size for my purl needles. So right now I'm purling with size 10 6 millimeter needles, and my knit is the 6.5 millimeter needles. So yeah, I think that just helps. I think it's called rowing out, when it's like one row is tighter than the other, or one row is looser than the other. But yeah, so I've been doing this for basically all the things that I've been knitting back and forth, and it's worked out really well. I did it for the Venice wrap as well. And yeah, I think that's just nice, a nice way to fix that gauge tension issue. Yeah, something that I've noticed with knitting by holding 2 strands of yarn together is that sometimes I would catch just the wool and not the mohair strand. And there have been a couple times where I've completely missed it, and I've like now seen it. But usually I catch it. Usually when I put the stitch in, I'm like, oh, where's the other, what happened to the other strand? And I try to pick it back up. But I mean, it's pretty minor. It's not a huge issue. Anyways, I really like this pattern so far because it's so simple. I've never done a raglan style construction before. So I'm just increasing per the instructions, and it's making this really nice raglan stitch down the middle. And I was gonna put this on for you, not on, but show you briefly. So yeah, I mean, obviously my needles are not big enough for this, but yeah, I've never done a raglan style construction before, sweater or otherwise. So yeah, this was really fun and exciting and easy. I'm so curious to see how it's gonna end up looking like. But yeah, okay, let's see. And I'm almost done with the increases, I believe. I have 3 more increase rows to go, and then I don't know, something new, something exciting. But yeah, everything is like a little scrunched up on the needles, which is okay. But yeah, I'm loving the way it's turning out. I really like how, because I'm holding 2 yarns together, you get this not marled effect, but almost like a tonal effect. I don't know how obvious it is to the camera. It's, yeah, it's like a almost marled effect. I guess maybe you can see on the swatch a little better. But you know how there's like variability depending on where the mohair fiber ended up being. Oh my gosh. The quality today is not great. I'm sorry, everyone. But yeah, I mean, you can see there's different colors in it because of the mohair. So I don't know, I just feel like that really adds some much needed dimension, because I mean, I think a cardigan in just this color would be cool too, like a solid color, but I really like just like the subtle shifts in color that is being added by combining 2 yarns. So that was that. So anyways, as I was saying, I only bought 3 balls of this. I think I will probably need 1 more. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how far this gets me. I'm still on my first ball of this. But I think I will probably need another ball, if we're being honest. And I feel like I should order quickly to make sure they still have this dye lot. I mean, it's a commercial yarn, so I'm hopeful the dye lot is still there. I'm hopeful they make bigger batches. Yeah, I don't know. I got these yarns from Webs, in case you missed that episode. But we'll see, because the extra small calls for 75 grams of mohair, and the small calls for 100 grams. But like the next 2 sizes also call for 100 grams. So I don't know if I should play yarn chicken and just like knit until I'm out, or if I should like preemptively buy the yarn. And Webs doesn't have free shipping, so it's like I should just buy it when I need to buy it. But that actually reminds me, one of my favorite tools in the knitting trade, my flexible measuring tape, my retractable flexible measuring tape. She broke. I don't know what happened. One day I pulled it out to use. Like, I mean, I threw it away at this point, so. But, you know, I think you understand. It's like a measuring tape that is in a plastic case, and you pull it out, and it stops when you pull it out, and you press a button, and it retracts back in. So one day I was pulling out the tape, and it has a little tab for you to hold on to as you're pulling it out. And I went to do that, and it snapped. Like, the tab snapped. So then, yeah, so then I had no way of, yeah, I couldn't connect it. I couldn't, I don't know. And then I tried to like use a pen to feed out the tape so that I could grab it and like tape it back together. But I think me doing that broke the retractable function of it button. So it's gone, which is sad. I mean, they're not very expensive, but it's just the sort of thing. It's just like a hassle, you know? So yeah, that was a sad loss. But I don't know. It's okay, I guess. Anyways, that's my progress on this. This is, I casted this on probably like 3 days ago at most. I want to say even 2 days ago. It's been working out really fast. I don't know if it's bulky yarn. might be bulky yarn. I don't know. The yarn's pretty thick, thicker than what I usually work with. So it's been great to knit on and so addicting. I think like the raglan makes it really fun because it's like, oh, knit to the raglan stitches and then we get to increase. But I mean, I have to say I do notice it becoming longer and longer, obviously, because I'm increasing. So that's a little demotivating. But I also, because I think I'm like playing low-key yarn chicken, I'm like anxious to knit it up quickly so I can figure out if I need to buy another ball of yarn or not. And then on my first cake of this, so as I said, I was able to make 3 cakes from the 200 grams. And my first cake of this, I was pulling from the center. So like halfway through, it started collapsing, but I didn't want to move it into one of my sock cozies. So I was also knitting up really quickly then because I wanted to not have it get tangled on me. But yeah. So this is my most exciting project. I carry the sock out with me when I'm out and about, like when I was picking up Jenna from Carline from school. I would bring my sock with me, or I had to pick her up from Scouts, so I brought the sock with me. But otherwise, I'm really like working on this primarily as I'm watching NCIS. NCIS is good. NCIS is so good. It has that, like, I don't know why, like really, it has like a nostalgia feel for like days when I would see NCIS being played at like the dentist's office or something, you know, or like, I don't know, in a waiting room, or like sometimes we never had cable growing up, so like sometimes like NCIS would be on some sort of free channel. I don't know, but I never got to watch like a full episode because I don't know, I mean I was young and I didn't understand how TV worked. So I don't know, now it just feels like really nostalgic to watch NCIS, and it's genuinely a good show. Like the characters are great. I think they're funny. Some of the episodes are definitely a sign of their times, like early 2000s, and are not like super LGBTQ friendly, actually very offensive. And yeah, so if you can get past that, like I like just skip through stuff that I'm just like, that's not right, or you know, whatever. But I would say, I mean, I'm almost through the first season and that has happened a couple of times. But other than that, it's been a really fun and engaging show. And I love the way it's like edited. I think the cast of characters is so funny. So yeah, and it's a good background show because it's like the stakes aren't that high. It's episodic, so you're never like, ooh, you know, what's gonna happen, because everything gets resolved into one episode. So it's a nice it is a nice show to knit to. Okay, yeah. Other than that, what have I been doing? I repotted this plant. Oh, actually, I do want to show you this now that I'm seeing it. This is Moose, as you may or may not know. And Joy was cleaning out her closet and she found this, which is a cowl that William's mom made me. Oh my gosh. And Joy put it on Moose, and I think it's the cutest thing ever, even though it's summertime. I just think it's so adorable. Yeah, I lent Joy this when we went on like a boat ride, or like boat tour somewhere, and it was like cold in December. So I lent this to her, and I guess she never gave it back. But this is so freaking cute. So cute. So yeah. Yep. I should have had him like sitting here the whole time. That would have been funny. And that would have been a good way to hide my shelf that I didn't really want y'all to see because it's so messy. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I think, you know, that's all I had to chat to you about today. Let me know what you were working on, if you're working on anything while listening. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining me. Again, you can find me on Instagram at @howhum_, And please give this video a like if you liked it. Comment if you want to say something, and if you want to stick around. It would really help if you subscribed or shared this video with your fiber friends. So yeah. Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep knitting on this, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.